Hi everyone, Ryan here, Ion Capital Solutions. Hope you're doing well, and thanks so much for following along. We really appreciate it. For anybody new who's just joining us, if you'd like to learn more about us, you can visit ioncapitalsolutions.com, click subscribe below, and turn on notifications. And anytime we post a video, you will be notified. All right. So, one of the things that we've been talking to our brokers and training about recently is standard loan calculations, right? And properly qualifying their clients on the phone. You see, contrary to popular opinion, loan broking is a lot harder than just talking to someone on the phone saying, "Do you want money? Fill out my application. I'll send it to the lender." It just doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. If you're signed up for some broker blueprint scenario where you think it's just as easy as signing up with the lender or sending your application out to a ton of people and then you're going to make money, it's not how it works. Okay. What you're looking at in front of you here is some calculations around a cash advance, probably the worst product there is out there, and it's just one of a multitude of products we have and a vast majority of forms of funding. All right. But with that being said, you need to know how to punch your calculator. And those in finance call alternative finance the Wild West. Okay? And in the Wild West, you need a gun on your hip. Your gun is your calculator. Okay? So you have got to be able to work out the numbers for yourself on the fly and figure out if there's affordability there for your clients. Just figure out whether or not you even want to be talking to them on the phone. On top of that, you need to figure out what kind of loan they currently have or they've taken in the past so you know what they're willing to take in the future, what you're contending with, and if you have to pay it off, whatever it may be. Okay, so there's ways of utilizing formulas to gather missing bits of information. So if you look here at the term, the funded amount, the payback, payment frequency, payment amount, there you're going to talk to a client, right? If you look at the client loan example below, who's not willing to give you those bits of information. They won't give you the payback. They won't give you the term, right? So how do you get that stuff, right? We'll dive in. Okay, so first of all, I want you to understand there's two different bits of information. There's the stuff you want to show the client and the things you don't want to show the client. So term, funded amount, payback, payment frequency, payment amount, this is how you present an offer to a client. Okay, what you definitely do not want to show them is your points, your factor, your sell rate, and the rate percentage is just the sell rate, just so you understand what a 137 is versus 37%. It's just principal plus interest. Okay, interest being the 37%. Okay, so with that being said, we're trying to figure out missing bits of information when talking to the client to gather it. They either won't be forthcoming because they just don't want to talk to you and they'll tell you, leave me alone, I don't want to talk to you, or they just don't know, right? So how do you figure this information out, right? Well, the way to figure out this information is simple, and there's more than one way to do it. So let's dive in. So if we wanted the payback, right? Well, funded amount times the sell rate equals the payback. So if you know what their rate was, and you know what the funded amount was, well, you just multiply them. You're going to get the payback, right? And we can skim through here, but if you wanted to get the daily payment, you could take the payback, you could divide it by the number of daily payments. Maybe they don't know the number of daily payments. Well, that's okay. That's okay. All you do instead to get your daily payment is to simply divide the payback by the term. Right? So, okay, if the payback was $68,500 and it was a 6-month term, well, I divide that number by 6 months and I get X. Then I divide that by 21 business days because, by the way, if you didn't know, there's 21 business days on average in the month, right? That's going to get you your daily payment. And so just being able to work this stuff out on your calculator, or it's either on your computer or it's your phone. I like to use my phone, right? You can work out these numbers for yourself, right? So let's say you're talking to a client. Right? Actually, let me back up for a moment. You're probably looking at this and it's busy and you're like, what does this mean? Well, first of all, let's talk syndication and risk. So there is no Donald Duck swimming in a pool of gold coins. It does not exist. Okay, so if you think there's just one really rich person out there who's putting their money in a loan and giving it to you, it's just the dumbest thing anyone could ever do with their money. If that borrower defaults, the money's gone forever. Why would you do that? Right? What it is it's a large network of investors that syndicate their money into deals and it dilute it into a multitude of deals. So whatever the low case or percentage of default is, they're still going to have an ROI. They're still going to get a return on their investment. Right? So that's how it actually works. And we're talking about risk here. So the longer the money's out the door, the higher risk the lender's taking. One, because it's taken a long time for them to get their money back, and during that period of time, at any point, the client could go belly up or run with the money, right? So there's more risk. The other part of it is any investor wants their money to snowball over and over again. So the shorter the term, the quicker you get your money back plus interest, the quicker you get it back out the door again, right? The more you do it in a year, the more your return on investment, right? So understanding that, you can understand why an offer like this might exist. Why would we offer a client $50,000, but it could be anywhere from 6 months to 18 months, right? Well, the client wants the extended term, so they have the lower payment. But by doing that, they're going to get a higher interest rate, right? If they want to go with the lowest interest rate, okay, I can do that for you, but your payment's going to be higher. So it comes down to affordability. So there's a give and a take in a game there to be played, right? But you need to understand that and work out these numbers for yourself, because the lender's not always going to give you this. They're going to give you bits and pieces like this, and you're going to have to work out how to do it. And if you don't know the difference between a factor and a sell rate, you might sell money at 29% thinking your client's going to love it because he just got 35% last time, only to realize that you didn't build your points into the deal. And because of that, you're not going to get a commission on the deal, right? So you need to know how to do this stuff, right? You need to know the difference between a daily frequency and a weekly frequency, right? The client wants weekly, not daily. Daily puts too much pressure on their cash flow. Every day it's getting hit by a certain amount. If their balance happens to be low that day, negative day, non-sufficient funds. Too many of those, and they can't qualify for a loan the next time. Big trouble, right? Something to think about. So let's dive into an example here. So in this client's loan example, and by the way, if I haven't mentioned it before, we're talking about a cash advance, okay? So the client got $80,000. He got a daily, which was $876. That's all the client's willing to give. I don't want to give you more information. I want to get off the phone. I don't want to deal with it. Or I just don't flat out, I just don't know. How are we going to get that information? We just punch our calculator. It's not that bad. We start with the payback, right? Well, your average sell rate is between 138, 140, somewhere in there, 38, 40%, somewhere in that category. So just use that, right? If the client's not going to give you what you want, right? So in this case, I'll go with the 138, okay? Prices are a little bit lower considering it's COVID. People can't handle the higher interest, and these lenders want to get their money out the door. So we'll go with the former, okay? So $80,000, right, times a 1.38 equals $110,400. So $110,400 is my payback, or the rough estimate of the payback. Well, now we just need the term. Well, how are we going to get that term? Real easy. You just take the payback, $110,400, you divide it by the daily payment, $876, and you get the total number of payments, which is 126. Okay? Now, all we need to do to figure out our term is divide the total number of payments, right, by 21 business days, right? So we divide by 21, we get 6. So the loan term was 6 months, 6 months, right? Now we have the bits of information. Now, why do that? Why do we need to figure that out right away on the phone with the client? Because the client wants to know why they should be working with us. Why us? They already have a loan broker. That loan broker already built rapport with them. They already got them funded. Why do they want to talk to you? What's the difference? Well, let's take a look. Your last loan broker got you a 6-month term, got you an $876 daily payment. You had gone with me, Mr. Customer. I would have doubled your term, got you a 12-month term. I could have got you the weekly payment. I don't know what you're paying a daily for, right? But just to compare apples to apples for a minute, at a 12-month term and a daily payment, by doubling your term, I'm cutting your payment in half. So you go from paying $876 a day to $438 a day. Think of the savings. Think of the savings, right? And so on top of that, I'm not going to do you dirty with a daily payment. I'm going to get you that weekly payment. So instead of you spending the $4,400 a week, you're spending $2,100 a week. And you don't have the pressure of that daily payment rocking your account. And if it's a low day, next thing you know, you got a negative day or non-sufficient fund. They hate that stuff. So you need to know what the pain points are and speak to them. You need to help them understand, if they were to work with you, how it would be an improvement. And then work your selling points. You just talk to the client. I just figured out your loan term and your payback with limited information. I just cut your daily payment in half. I just doubled your term, right? I just freed up $438 a day that you can add to your bottom line. I mean, let's do the math. In the month, That's $9,198 in saving. In the year, that's $110,376 in savings. What could you do with that money, Mr. Customer, right? I mean, tell me, Mr. Customer, does an additional $110,000 in annual savings help your bottom line? How much money could your business generate if I loaned you $80,000 on top of it? I mean, I'm syndicating my money into these deals, and I'm considering lending you my money. Do I have your attention yet? Do I sound like the last loan guy you spoke with? I doubt it, right? This is how you're going to grab the client's attention, by pulling out your gun and doing some nifty tricks. Right? A gunslinger, right? A loan specialist in the wild, wild west. You see how that works, right? But it's true. You have to be willing, you have to be able to impress the client. You have to be willing to get a little uptight and go through this a few times before you're comfortable enough to do it live on the phone with the client. Okay? You will make mistakes, but you will learn, and then you will separate yourself from the others. And anytime you go up against your competitor, the one that came before you, it's easy. You blow them out of the water. You double the term. You extend it. You get them a higher payment frequency. You find a way to bring down the payment. You let the client know what that would look like. You multiply it in the month, in the year, what that would look like. Mr. Client, what could you do with $110,000 savings? If you're a construction group, with that money not being tied up anymore, you could buy more materials, take on more jobs. If you're a warehousing company, you could buy more space to store more products. Right? If you're, I don't know, a retail business, now you have more money to buy, to stock more inventory, whatever it is, right? You have to think that way if you're going to stand a chance in this business. And this is just cash advance. Probably one of the easiest products to understand and learn, or so you would think. And then you start realizing, hold on, so I need to know these numbers. I need to be able to analyze deep financials and underwrite them myself. I thought it was just as easy as filling out an application, submitting the application to the lender, and then I just sit back and collect my money. I mean, that's what the blueprint said it was that I just purchased. It's not that simple. It's not that simple, folks. What you need is support. You need mentors. You need a network, a community, a sphere of influence. You need to measure yourself against your competitors, against your peers. Instead of making the same mistakes and dealing with the cost of time and money in those bumps in the roads, can you hang on that long, or can you expedite that journey by learning from the scars that I bear and my colleagues bear, so that it's faster for you to figure this stuff out? Very important stuff. Anyway, this is just a bit of some of the training that we're working on. There's a lot more going on than this. This is just one of a multitude of products and multiple forms of funding that we offer. If you're interested, you want to learn more, visit ioncapitalsolutions.com. If you like the video, you want to see more like this, hear a bit from my partner Gavin, or from one of our leadership team members, the channel's filled with useful information to help you with your business. That's absolutely free, even if you decide not to sign up with us. So check it out. You could do that by clicking subscribe below, turning on notifications, and anytime we post a video, you'll be notified. All right. Thanks so much for sticking out the whole video here and listening and learning a little bit about what we do. We really appreciate it. Wish you all the best, and good luck.